Hello everybody and welcome to the Better Call Sukan podcast with Arif and Carl. Hi everybody, my name is Arif Daniel, your host for today, and with my partner here, his name is Carl, your host for today as well. Hello Carl, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Arif?
I am very, very good actually today. I feel very energized about this sport that we're gonna talk about lah. Sebab the guest kita ni, she brought like the equipments for this sport, and I not nak kata bias ke apa lah, like macam suka extra, but if yang the guest that brings dia punya equipment
bonus point lah.
Bonus point bagi macam lagi macam interested lah. So kepada yang dekat YouTube yang tengah tengok, boleh nampak dah Carl is holding one of the equipment of the sport, and to the listeners that I'm telling you that he's actually holding one of the equipments dekat the sport. Dekat belah sana pun ada. What is that actually, Carl? Kita pun tak tahu. Dia macam nak sawit pokok buah ke apa ke dekat atas pokok ke.
Zombie apocalypse.
Okay, so basically this sport is apa nama sports ni, Carl, sebenarnya?
Perahu naga.
Perahu naga. Perahu naga. Betul ke?
Dragonboat.
Dragonboat. Okay, I did not. Okay, masa when our producer Nut Boy said that this sport is coming, Dragonboat ni, I only thought yang Dragonboat ni dia sebenarnya wujud. I did not know nama dia Dragonboat. And in my head, dia terus aku fikir pasal Rush Hour 2. Yeah. What's the name of the boat? The Red Dragon? So I thought it was like macam that thing je. But I didn't know. But then I googled, dia legit yang sport tu, yang ni. And I thought, is it like macam, you know the Social Network?
Yeah.
Yeah, kan dia ada, but that is different.
Yeah.
Yes. So we can ask the guest about it.
Yes.
Apa beza dia semua. So kita ada guest hari ni, a special guest. Thank you for coming. So Carl, boleh tak you introduce to everyone who is our guest for today?
Okay,
to speak about Dragonboat.
Yes.
Perahu naga.
Perahu naga.
Baiklah.
Thanks to our guest for mentioning that. Okay, we're gonna paddle into this episode.
We're gonna paddle into this episode. Yes.
Okay, welcome to the show. Captain of the KL Barbarians Dragonboat team, correct?
Yes, correct.
Lesley.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Lesley, captain of the KL Barbarians. Thank you for having me here today.
Yes,
Yeah.
Captain of KL Barbarians. So we're going to talk about Dragonboat and your team KL Barbarians, and also your involvement in as a Malaysian athlete, wakil Malaysia about Dragonboat ni. Tapi before that, we want to know about you yourself actually. How do you get into Dragonboat or into sports? Maybe before this was not Dragonboat.
From when you started as a child until who you are today.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me here today.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I was hoping to speak more about the team, but sure, I'll start with an introduction about myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been involved in competitive sports since I was 8 years old.
Okay.
I started with gymnastics, went on to badminton, and then I played squash throughout my high school career.
Okay.
For the state of Malacca.
Oh.
And when I was 13, I was actually offered to join @𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙇𝙎 Sports School. But being quite a tender age, upon discussion with my parents, who obviously felt that, being an athlete had not much prospect in Malaysia,
Biasa
declined the offer.
Okay.
Went on to study like any other normal student.
Okay.
And I went on to law school.
Okay.
And now I'm a practicing lawyer, where one of my areas of practice is sports law.
Another sports lawyer.
Yeah. So it is actually through my practice of being a lawyer, it's how I met the founder of the KL Barbarians, and we initially started off as a group of lawyers. But now we've expanded into this very, very diverse group of people made up of from different professions, different backgrounds, different nationalities. We're just a very, very motley crew.
Nice.
Of people who just have found a love and passion for Dragonboat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, sebelum we talk about KL Barbarians
Sure.
tu, what is actually Dragonboat ni lah? Kepada all the listeners yang or whoever is watching us, they don't know what is Dragonboat ni.
Perahu
Kenapa?
naga.
Perahu naga.
Betul ke translation dia perahu naga?
Betul.
Oh, the name
betul.
legit nama
Legit,
dia perahu
legit,
naga.
perahu naga.
And why is it naga sebenarnya? Why dragon lah?
Yeah. So I wish I could bring the boat here, but that's almost impossible. A small boat is about 200 kilos.
Okay.
A big boat is about 250 kilos, give or take. But what I've done is done my best to bring whatever equipment that's available. So
Okay.
Kyle's holding what we call a paddle.
Okay.
And that makes us paddlers.
Okay.
And I have over here, it looks like a life jacket, but it's called a personal flotation device, which we call PFD, tapi ramai orang suka panggil PDF lah, sebab banyak kerja kan. Okay, but it's a PFD.
Personal
Flotation device. Yeah.
Maknanya float lah.
Yes, correct. To keep
okay.
you afloat on the water. So, dragon boating, a little bit of history, started from ancient China.
Okay.
And the story goes is that there was this poet called 𝙬𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙇𝙎.
Okay.
And he was well loved by the people.
Okay.
And unfortunately, during the era, he was under a government that was corrupt.
Okay.
And in an act of defiance against the government, 𝙬𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 decided to drown himself in the Meluo River.
Okay.
But
wow.
remember, he's a poet that's well loved by the people. And as soon as the people and the villagers heard about 𝙬𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼 going out to drown himself, they immediately rushed out on their boats and they would hit the sides of the boat.
Okay.
And they would also throw rice packets into the river to stop the fishes from eating 𝙬𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼's body. So that's how the story started back in the day. And now when you look at the modern sport of dragon boat, you see the drum akin to the people hitting the side of the boat. And you know that time in June where we eat those dumplings, that is those rice that were thrown into the river. So that's how the ancient story started. And what we actually see in a lot of the Asian countries especially,
Okay.
they still have what we call traditional boat.
Okay.
And they have certain cultures and you know, the ceremonies that they would do around the month of June to respect this ancient history. But of course, the sport has evolved into a very modern sport.
Okay.
And now we see modern dragon boat having fiberglass boat. You're holding a carbon fiber paddle. The sport has obviously evolved over the years. And not only is it very much played in Asian region, there are very strong teams in the European region, in the US and in Canada especially as well. So it's really grown to be this very, very popular water sport. And there was a period of time, it was the world's fastest growing water sport.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, to answer your question, why is it called dragon boat? And if you Google and you look up a picture of dragon boat,
Yeah.
if you see the boat, what you'll see is you'll see the head of the dragon that's fixed to the front of the boat.
Okay.
And along the side is akin to the scales of the dragon.
Okay.
And at the back there's a tail.
Okay.
And the drummer that sits in front, drumming the boat, is akin to the heart of the dragon. Yeah. And so us paddlers, when we sit in there, we're just moving the dragon boat to the finish line. And realistically, in the sport of dragon boat, it's a sprint to the finish line. Yeah. And that can happen over various distances. Most commonly, you have a 200 meter, 500 meter, 2,000 meters. Those are some of the common distances that we race across.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I think we have one of the social media punya questions. I think dah terjawab kot maybe. Sebab dia from this question is from Syafiq Daniel and Amal Rushda. Dia tanya kenapa ada public holiday dragon boat dekat Taiwan, is it?
Taiwan and I think China as well.
So what do you know about that actually?
I don't have a specific answer, but I think it relates to the ancient story I was telling about. And it's celebrated together with the Dumpling Festival. In Hong Kong, there's also a specific weekend where they celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival as well.
Yes.
And that's the weekend that you'll see a lot of people doing the rice packets. There'll be lots of Dragon Boat races happening in Hong Kong over that weekend. And Hong Kong is also very significant because that's where the first international Dragon Boat race ever took place.
Oh, when was that?
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember the specific
Decades?
probably way back in the 70s or 80s probably. Not too long
Not
ago.
too long
Yeah,
ago.
not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sekarang ni then listeners and also yang watching tu maybe diorang tekan ni diorang macam tak sure what is it kan. So do let us know. Okay, we all first time kita orang pergi.
Sure.
First kita datang situ, kita ada paddle, kita ada float di
Personal flotation device.
personal flotation
PFD.
device. So macam mana kita nak how do it go, let us through the whole period of Dragon Boat tu.
So I think first and foremost, there's a very common misconception that if you want to do Dragon Boat, you need to be able to swim. And that's not really the case. You don't really need to know how to swim. You
Okay.
need to be water confident. So
Okay.
that if anything happens, you got to trust that the PFD will do its part.
Okay.
And be able to know what to do in the event of a capsize. You know how to tread water, which direction to go, etc. And yeah, so first of all is to have the confidence to try the sport, to give it a go. And when we board the boat, you will wear the PFD, you bring a paddle along. We always advise perhaps a cap or a sunglasses would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people like to bring a bum pad along because sometimes the bum gets,
Oh.
you get a lot of chafing on the bum
Okay.
from the paddling. And the boat, as I was saying, we have a small boat, which is made up of 10 paddlers,
Okay.
1 drummer, and 1 steerer.
So 12 people
12
in total.
people on the boat. A big boat is double of that. You have 20 paddlers, you have a drummer and a steerer. So you have 22 people on the boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just now you said the smallest boat is 200,
12 to about 200 kilos.
and then the bigger.
About
So the
250.
width is the same.
The width is more or less about the same. It's this shape,
Okay.
but
The
obviously
panjang?
much longer. Yes, correct.
So the categories memang only can fit 22,
It's either 12 or 22.
12 or 22.
So small boat or big boat.
10 plus 2 or 20 plus 2 lah.
Correct.
I see.
And then we have different categories. You have either an open category, which is normally the men. You have a women's category, and you have a mixed category where there's a composition of how many men, how many women. And even then, we have different categories. You have the premier category, which is probably 18 to 39.
Okay.
And then you have the masters category. You have masters A, masters B, masters C, 40 and above, 50 and above, 60 and above. And there's a junior category as well, 18 and below, or under 23, under 21, under 18, under 16.
This one in the whole world ke, in Malaysia pun ada 60 and above ke apa ke?
So it depends on the race organizer,
Okay.
which categories they want to offer in their event. And so when we participate, we look at the categories that are available. We see who is able to join the race, and then we put in our entries according to the crew members that we have. Because KL Barbarians is a competitive Dragonboat team. We
Okay.
compete regularly, locally and internationally.
Okay.
But we are not full-time Dragonboaters. We're
Yes.
all working adults. So different people can make it for some races, some can't make it for others.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is another social media question from
Sure.
Shakir
Yes.
Razif.
Thanks for all the questions, by the way.
Dia tanya what he knows yang Dragonboat ni
Perahu naga.
dia ada roles, different roles.
Yes.
Yeah, even the paddler pun, even kat depan ada different roles, kat belakang pun ada the paddle rhythm. So can you explain
Sure.
the different roles? So maksudnya like he is a paddler, I'm a paddler, can be a different kind of role lah.
Okay, you're organizing us to go into the boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from there.
Yeah.
Great. So, like I said, there must be a drummer
Yes.
and there must be a steerer. So the drummer needs to drum the boat. Beat the drum actively throughout the
What's
race.
the beating ke? There's a lagu ke apa ke?
So usually the drummer will follow the rhythm of the pull through the water.
So pull doom.
Yes,
doom.
correct.
So faster it goes, the faster you guys paddle lah
Different teams have different strategies. Yeah. But what's usually very exciting is as we get closer to the finish line, the drummer will usually go and then okay, we're reaching the finish line. It's like a surge to the
The
finish
final
line.
dash lah.
Correct.
Okay.
And the drummer plays a very important role to motivate the paddlers as well.
Okay.
Come on, you got to go a little further. You're very close. It's neck to neck, you see, because they have a very good view sitting on the front of the boat.
Okay, drummer ni dia duduk, dia berdiri tu.
Tak, dia ada kerusi.
Oh, dia ada
Dia
kerusi.
ada kerusi.
Okay, so if you duduk on the boat tu, his view is the paddlers dekat the boat ke atau his view is depan?
He or she can see all. He can see the row of paddlers in front. He can see the whole spread of all the other lanes as well. So they have a very good view of what's going on the race course.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
okay.
a question.
Yes.
You mentioned about the beats apa semua.
Yes.
Has there been any incidents or rules and regulation where a drummer cost the team like points deduction ke, disqualification ke, whatever?
The rules do say that the drummer has to drum actively throughout a certain period of the race course. So if they don't follow that rules, there could be certain penalties imposed. Yeah.
Okay, so drama
Okay,
punya
so
role
drama
dah
goes
settle.
in right at the front.
Okay.
And then the boat, whether it's a small boat or a big boat, is generally divided into 3 segments.
Oh, okay.
So the first segment is what we call the pacers, which you say rhythm.
Oh,
And generally, these are people who have very good rhythm because they need to be very consistent in keeping the paddling through the water.
okay.
Tak boleh tiba-tiba cepat, tiba-tiba lambat. Boat doesn't glide as quickly to the finish line.
So the
Remember, it's a
motto lah.
sprint.
Oh, okay.
It's a sprint to the finish line.
Okay.
So they need to be people with very good rhythm, very steady, good technique as well. Okay. Then you have the middle part of the boat, which are called the engines.
Oh, okay.
And this is usually where engine lah, more heavy set guys, real horsepower and powering the boat. Then you have the backpack of the boat,
Okay.
and we call them rockets. So
Okay.
their job is to propel the boat. And by then, at the back of the boat, the water is moving very fast.
Okay.
Again, these are people who should have very sound technique and know how to deal with fast-moving water so that they can do their job to help propel. Macam Need for Speed lah. Setelah you tekan turbo, psh. Yeah, that's their role basically.
So,
Then, sorry, there's one more position, steerer.
Betul, steer. Super important because the steerer acts like almost like a driver.
Okay.
And they hold a steering oar, and their job is to guide the boat as straight as
oh,
possible.
dah steering wheel.
Something like steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
But they need to guide the boat as straight as possible to the finish line because the fastest between 2 points is a straight line. So kalau dia sengat, you will take longer to reach the finish line. So they play an extremely important role.
Is basically the only way is actually point A to point B, straight line je lah.
Straight line.
Oh.
There is I mentioned a 2,000 meter. That's 2 kilometers basically. And in the international level, 2,000 meter is done in a circular race course. That's very exciting. We've done that I think twice in the history of our team, and it's very exciting. So you've got like a 500 meter stretch, and then you've got to take a curve, and then you another 500 meters down, and you basically go in 2 circles. And there's a whole host of rules on overtaking and how you keep your lane and things like that. So that's very exciting, but mostly we see that in regional or international races. Local races are usually straight course races because we don't have that space to do like a full circular course.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You're trying to picture it in your head, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
it's
all of us on
very
the- yang tengah
exciting.
dengar.
No,
Yeah.
I'm picturing like the views.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question also from social media.
Yep.
Thank you for the question. So tak kisah soalan tu good atau tak, tapi kita tanya, this question is from Amirul Rosali. From Instagram. Dia tanya, kalau terlajak perahu boleh diundur, kalau terlajak Dragonboat boleh undur balik tak?
Macam mana dah jawab soalan ni?
I still ask this question. So yeah.
Well, if a dragon boat kena reverse, it's not a good thing lah.
Oh, so dia memang tak boleh reverse lah?
Boleh. We have instructions where we back pedal and you
Okay.
can move the boat backwards. But in a race, you wouldn't want to move backwards.
Okay.
Remember, it's a sprint to the finish line. Forward is the way to go. So there is a bit of reversing involved when we need to park at the
Okay.
starting line. So
Of course.
we pedal out to the start line, and you've got race lanes here, and you go to your assigned lane, and the steerer, very important, has to reverse, 3-point turn semua, and get us nicely into our lane. So there is that involved, but not during the race, like not during the sprint to the finish
Okay.
line. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like sprint to the finish reverse.
No way. That would be super tough.
Back to the paddling
Yes.
punya question. Thank you so much for your question. So we do just keep asking every episodes. We do appreciate your questions. So paddling ni, sebab just now off recording, this is my question.
Yup.
Beza ke dengan rowing?
Yes.
Yang social network tu rowing kan? The Facebook.
Social network, yes.
Yeah,
That's rowing.
That one rowing kan?
Correct.
So what is the difference between rowing dengan paddling? Because rowing dia ada orang yang pakai the microphone tu kan?
Yes.
So you guys guna the drums to bagi ni?
Yeah, I guess those are some of the similarities.
Yes.
But there are 2 major differences
Okay.
between rowing and dragon boat. First of all is the direction of the boat. So rowing, if you see the movie or any other championships, they are the rowers pull, but they are moving backwards. Yeah. Whereas for dragon boat, when we pedal, the boat is surging forward. So direction, yeah, Hey man, you should come join us on the boat. Yeah.
Penat. Oh.
Yeah.
So
That's the first
Okay.
difference. The second one is rowers generally pull both sides exactly.
Oh.
But paddlers, we usually have to pick a side, whether it's right or left, because we sit side by side on the boat.
Oh, so kalau the rowing is you use two hands.
Yes, you need to pull.
Pull.
Yes, pull with both sides of the body.
And then when you pull, the boat go backwards.
Yes, correct.
So basically the finishing line is at the back ah.
Correct.
Oh.
Whereas when we paddle, we see the finish line at the end of the race course.
Oh.
Yeah, it's right in front of us.
But the similarities is just the number of people ke different.
No, actually, the similarity is that they are both a water sport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So ada ke orang yang daripada rowing punya sports dia lompat ke Dragonboat lompat because is it big? I know it's a big industry, but do you guys ada tukar-tukar ke? Have you tried rowing before?
I've tried rowing on an indoor rowing machine, but not outdoor, because we use a rowing machine a lot in the gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we only get to go to our training grounds on the water on weekends.
Okay.
So to supplement, we go to the gym. Rowing machine is one of the machines that we use. But to answer your question, I think rowing to Dragonboat, maybe not as much. What we actually see a transference in terms of water sports is canoers and kayakers easily adapting to Dragonboat. Yeah. And that's something that we see in probably the earlier days, maybe 10, 12, 13 years ago, where people with canoe kayak background, easily a group of them can get together. They will jump on the boat and they'll pick up the sport of Dragonboat really, really easily. Yeah. For Dragonboaters to go to kayak and canoe is probably not as easy because there's a bit of balancing involved in canoe and kayak. You got to balance when you sit on the canoe and kayak. With Dragonboat, it's a lot more stable, very secure. You're sitting in a nice seat, very secure. The chances of capsizing is very, very low in a Dragonboat.
Yeah, because the weight of the boat helps to...
Correct.
Okay.
You've got 10 people sitting on the boat together. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. Is it like for the mixed event or whatever again? Is it like regulation of like, okay, because I'm assuming it's like 5.
The current regulation is 5-5.
5-5. Is it like because you did mention the 3 parts of like the front, the engine, and the rocket? Okay. Is there like a strategy that you guys can like use, or is there a regulation that every section has to have a certain number of? No.
As long as there's 5 men, 5 women, each team is open to adopting their own strategy on who is best placed where, and that's really exciting as well because strategy comes into play. And do you put the men in front, do you put the women in front, do you mix them up, who has better technique, do you have sync issues, and that's part and parcel of the strategy.
Sync issues, do elaborate.
Nak synchronize together.
Yes, betul, synchronize. So in dragon boating, it really requires all the paddlers to be in absolute synchronization.
To have good chemistry together.
Chemistry, but to be absolute synchronized. So, in all other team sports, people always talk about teamwork, communication, and things like that. But I can assure you, there is no other sport in the world that requires a group of people to work together like dragon boating. 20 people that need to paddle in absolute synchronization in order to propel the boat forward. You need one entry into the water and one exit out of the water. Kalau I go in, you go out, the boat will actually shake. And that again, it's going to affect how quickly you get to the finish line.
Okay, you said just now the paddlers is divided to 3 groups.
Segments.
Segments, yeah. How many paddlers for each of the... One is the motor, one rocket?
Up to the team.
Oh, up to the team. But yang confirm memang akan ada rocket, ada engine yang akan ada...
Generally, if we take a big boat, so we've got 10 rows.
Okay.
Usually it's 3 rows of pacers.
Okay.
4 rows of engines and another 3 rows of rockets. Biasanya lah. So engine solid lah kat tengah.
And you are?
I generally am a pacer. Generally.
The depan sekali, right?
Yes, generally.
I see. So the one at the drummer and the steerer, can they paddle? Do they paddle or diorang memang like for your team
specific
lah? Are they specifically a drummer or they specifically a steerer?
we encourage our members to grow as a paddler, as a steerer, as a drummer. But there are sometimes weight considerations.
Okay.
You probably don't want to carry a very heavy drummer because it's additional weight that you're carrying on the boat. Again, fastest to the finish line.
Okay.
So you have to take into consideration all these points. But yeah, we encourage our members to grow. Not only paddler, steerer, drummer, we encourage them to learn more on the coaching aspects and also to grow as a Dragonboat official as well. So yeah, so try and grow them to be a very holistic Dragonboater.
Actually, what pursuit? I know you and your lawyer friends did that.
Yep.
But why you guys pursue to? What made you guys think to like, okay, let's do Dragonboat?
What is the story behind like gotta do this sport?
Sebab dia bukanlah sport yang you can just keluar rumah and terus main kan.
Betul.
You kena pergi to Tasik
Betul.
or I don't know where.
Putrajaya.
Putrajaya.
Yes.
We have a question also just now after this from Akil Razali. Dia tanya selain dari Putrajaya korang main dekat mana? So yeah. But we ask that first. What inspired you guys to start Dragonboat actually?
So I'll give a bit of history about KL Barbarians.
Yeah, sure.
So our founder, he used to paddle with his law firm called Screen Dragons, and they had their own Dragonboat team. But he loved the sport so much that he wanted to share it with other people.
Okay.
And so being a lawyer, he naturally reached out to fellow lawyers. And I was a very young lawyer at the time. I attended the first or second introductory workshop where he was trying to teach people what is Dragonboat. Let's get on a boat together and see how it feels. And so, we were part of this first batch. And even back then, we just invited friends because we're trying to fill up the boat, right? You need to fill up the boat. So we called friends. And then after we did like 2 or 3 workshops, our founder said, there's a race coming up in 10 weeks' time.
Okay.
There's a beginners category. Let's go for it. And we're like, it's 10 weeks' time. How are we supposed to go for a race? And we're like, okay lah. Let's have a goal, have a target. And we just trained 10 weeks and we brought back the gold medal in that beginners category. And I think that was really the catalyst to the KL Barbarians to where it is today. So
what year was that?
That was in 2011.
I see.
Yeah, so the team is now 13 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, 13 years old. So it also was very significant because KL Barbarians was the first open corporate team in the Klang Valley. And as I was saying, back then, you have 2 groups of people. You have the water sports people who would come together and paddle.
Okay.
And then a lot of the teams back then, you had to belong to a specific organisation like DBKL, PDRM, and then you were kayo with that team.
Oh.
Yeah, but us, KL Barbarians, being this open team, anyone and everyone could join us and everyone could try the sport of dragon boating.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's open to all, actually?
It's open to all. We take in, like I said, different professions, different backgrounds. We've got different nationalities in our team, different age groups. Yeah. And so now we've grown tremendously. We have about 70 to 80 active members at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, ni the question is, the boat tu you guys dapat dari mana actually?
Betul loh.
Sebab last week punya recording is about jump rope.
Yes.
Okay, tapi jump rope tu dia boleh beli online
Yes.
ke
Ada kat Shopee ke?
Dekat Shopee ke ni dia ni. So last week dia cakap cara quite senang lah
Yes.
nak ni. So korang punya boat ni first parking kat mana, and then korang order kat mana, and then paddle ni macam mana nak dapat semua all this, yeah.
Okay. So our main training ground is in Putrajaya.
Yeah, and the
There's-
question just now is besides Putrajaya, dekat mana? Ada ke? I don't know.
Well, we used to be able to paddle a little bit in Titi Wangsa, but
Okay.
it's a very small lake.
Oh, yeah,
Very
yes,
small.
yeah.
200 dah sampai the other side. Kena U-turn, kena balik.
Is it the one yang dekat Istana Budaya tu
Yes,
Ah,
betul,
okay.
betul. So Putrajaya is where the boats are stored.
Okay.
And there's also this big body of water that's really, really good for training. And in Putrajaya, generally, we have 2 places. You have Marina Putrajaya in
Yes.
Precinct 6. And then you have Club Tasik Putrajaya as well in Precinct 8. And the boats belong to the owners there. And we rent them on a week-to-week basis. We don't own the boats.
Oh.
Yeah, we rent them. But like you say, because Putrajaya is so far away, it brings, well, I suppose 2 sets of hurdles. One is we can only go there on weekends. We can't go Mondays to Fridays. So our training on water is limited to Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
And
okay.
secondly, when you recruit people, Putrajaya jauhnya, I kena padu kereta 30 minit untuk sampai sana.
Alah, MRT dah dia dah.
So yeah, the distance is one, and you have people saying like, oh, it's out in the hot sun,
Okay.
and things like that. But really, once people come and try, I think they will really see the beauty of the sport. Yeah.
Okay, the price range, do you have to get buy a paddle sendiri ke? Is there a fee to
We do have a club membership fee.
For KL
For KL Barbarians, we have a club membership fee, and that's a monthly basis, and you commit for a season, and each of our members invest in their own equipment. So over here, for those on YouTube, I've brought a personal flotation device, and this can range from 100 over ringgit.
May we?
Okay, sorry, 50 to 100-ish, depending on the model and the brand. That's really important, and you do want your own one because lama-lama dia jadi busuk sikit. So you want...
You tak ada sewa?
Yeah,
sewa,
we do. We have...
The orange colour.
Orange ones are life jackets.
Oh, beza.
Correct. Yeah, life jackets are meant to keep you out on the water for 2 to 3 days. Bila you naik cruise, semua dia bagi life jacket kan?
Yeah.
This one is meant to keep you out there for 2 to 3 hours because there's usually a safety boat nearby that will come and get you within minutes. Yeah.
Sorry, may I?
Sure, of course. It's very light.
Okay, to the listeners, if you guys are not watching on YouTube, you can go to YouTube. But if you're just listening while you guys are driving on the way to Putrajaya, so basically Lesley here is showing us the difference of the paddle, and then this is apa tadi, carbon fiber.
That's a carbon fiber paddle. And this is a wood paddle. And because it's called a paddle, we are called paddlers. We are not rowers. We're called paddlers. And so a wooden paddle like this can cost just about 100-ish, 170 to 200 ringgit.
Okay.
Yeah.
100 to 200 ringgit.
Yeah, give or take. And it's slightly heavier, but usually for beginners, we recommend that they start with a wooden paddle. I've just got this sticker over here. This is the first logo of our team.
KL
Yeah, it's a really
Barbarians.
cute caricature of a little Viking of
You want to
Barbarian.
hold these two, see the difference? Is it lighter or what?
This one's lighter.
So which one do you recommend kalau macam like to buy actually, contohnya orang first kan? Is it the
wood?
The wood one lah.
Because the wood has a bit more flex in the water, and it helps when you're learning the sport. You're just learning the paddling technique.
Okay.
We always recommend you start with wood, and normally when a paddler grows and wants to progress, they will likely invest in a carbon fiber, which is the black one. As you can see, that's a lot lighter, and lighter doesn't mean all good. You need to be able to have the strength and technique to be able to control that paddle through the water, and that paddle can cost anywhere between 300-400 up to 1,000-ish, 1,200, 1,500, give or take. My paddle is the black one is close to 10 years old already.
Oh, just
Yeah,
10 years
yeah.
old.
By feeling it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
to the listeners, I'm actually carrying both paddle. One is the wood one and one is the carbon fiber. So the carbon fiber ni sangat-sangat ringan, beza sangat dengan the wood one. So you use carbon fiber lah. You don't use the wood anymore.
I do
For
at
training.
certain parts of the season.
Okay.
Okay, how so? Yeah.
Yeah, so depending on what we're working on, if we do work on things like technique, sometimes we do go back to a wood paddle just to reinforce foundations, reinforce basics. But generally for races, most paddlers will use... nice guys, one right and one left paddler.
To the listeners, actually I'm trying to paddle. So you basically, how to hold it? Is there a way to hold it?
Yes.
Do you mind sharing?
You already got it.
Oh,
So-
okay.
You got it pretty naturally.
Okay,
Okay, so there's 3 parts to the paddle.
Okay.
There is the blade, the shaft, and the handle right at the top. So you've got it right at the handle. You're gonna high five on the top.
Okay, so
and
high
just,
five.
Yeah,
the
you
top.
got that. High five and just wrap your fingers around.
Okay, so 4 jari kat atas, the thumb kat bawah.
Betul.
Then you hold
Alright.
it.
Then
okay.
your bottom arm, which you look very natural on the left.
Okay.
You're gonna grab your left arm.
Just atas.
Yes, just slightly above.
Yeah. What's this? What's shaft?
That's a blade.
The blade.
Correct.
Okay.
You're gonna hold the shaft there.
Oh, this is the shaft.
Yes,
okay.
correct. And there you go.
And then you just paddle lah.
Then you paddle, you pull through the water.
So the more strength is towards the one you're holding, right? The handle on top.
So there's a very big misconception that dragon boating is a arm or an upper body sport.
Okay.
But it's actually a full body sport. And very
Okay,
often
how
when we
so?
finish a race and we step off the boat, the first thing yang menggigil is actually the legs.
Be-
Because the legs have got to hold us in place on the boat for our body to rotate to generate the strength and the pull through the water.
And also the drag. Oh.
Yeah, can I just say you both are naturals? One can be a right paddler and one can be a left paddler. They've picked up the paddles so naturally, and they've already got the motion right for our listeners out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jom.
Here I am recruiting.
Kita try. Kat belakang bangunan ni, sungai belakang Chala ni boleh.
Ada boat dah?
Ada tau.
Call di BL.
Mungkin perahu tu boleh diundur lah.
PDRM pun boleh.
Okay. The next question is how do you know you are a pacer ke, you are the rocket team ke? Do you macam contohnya masa kecil dekat sekolah lah, in a football punya ni, where you want to play, where can you play? I can play as a defender or a striker, then you go and try. So yang ni adakah dia sendiri ke, or you atau the coach macam okay, I think you can try this one ke, macam mana? Ke macam ada slot kosong, fill up ke, macam mana?
Probably a mixture of all of that, actually. Yeah,
Okay.
because like I say, we're not a professional team, so we have to consider things like who comes for training, who has better technique, who has better fitness, who has better strength, things like that. So usually the coach makes a bit of a call, and in our team we do try to have a very open conversation with our members as well on what role they probably excel in or be better at, and then we consider that against a whole list of considerations. How's their attendance, how's their strength, how's their fitness. Sebab if they're strong but they can't last through a 500 meter race, tak ada guna jugalah. Sebab dah 200 meter dia dah pancit dah, and they will not be able to fulfill their role as an engine. So you have to balance all these different factors and considerations.
Ada coach lah kan for this? You have a coach lah ke captain je?
Right now, I'm playing 3 roles within the team.
Okay.
I'm first and foremost a paddler.
Okay.
I'm the captain of the team, and I'm currently coaching the team as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a coach lah,
Yeah.
how do you make your 20 people before they sampai to on the boat together? Mesti diorang all from different jenis semua kan.
Betul.
So they're mentally, physically all different state.
Right.
How do you make sure everyone stay motivated
Yeah.
to keep doing the same thing, synchronizing together? Yeah.
That's obviously been a very big challenge over the last 13 years. And I think that boils down to the culture and the values that we set in the team.
Okay.
And in our team, we encourage our members to train hard, work hard, to be the best version of themselves for the team.
Okay.
And so that's something we re-emphasize a lot, and we find different ways to motivate them. And very often people think, oh, it's a sport and it always starts from the physical. But for us, I always encourage the members to see that it actually starts from the heart. Because you need to...
Passion lah.
You kena passion lah.
Alright.
Passion will make you drive to Putrajaya at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday to paddle in the hot sun. And with the passion comes the mindset. And it is the mind that instructs the body what to do. So it's not just about the physical, who's the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, but really, about the heart and getting all of us on the same page, same mindset, and then we will clock in the work together.
Do you do open days? Like macam for people to go and try?
We do at certain times of the year. We open for recruitment.
Okay.
Because as much as we recruit people, it's very normal that people also need to move away from the team for different phases of life, whether it's career, family, children.
Yes.
So constant recruitment is very important, and we do that.
But you guys are just KL Barbarians is just competitively kan? Tak ada recreational, just fun, tak ada.
Well, I say competitive because, like I say, we train to be the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
And we want to go into a race and be able to step off the boat knowing we have given our best.
Okay, that's really
and
good.
we believe if we put in the work, the results will come on its own. Yeah.
Besides, so contohnya lah orang yang listen and watching, they want to try.
Yep.
Tapi mungkin diorang takut.
Yeah.
So any tips for all these beginners kalau diorang nak try? Even I pun macam bila you cakap tu kena pergi, kena menang cuak juga kan nak pergi nak try.
Fully
So
understand.
any tips to all the beginners or whoever is interested to not try?
So I just want to give a disclaimer. What I've shared just now is really the KL Barbarians culture.
Yes.
And there are many, many other Dragonboat teams out there.
Oh.
Many others, not just in the Klang Valley, across other states as well. In Johor, in Perak, Penang has lots of teams. There's a lot of history of KL Barbarians in Penang. And try out the different teams and see which one you feel comfortable with the culture, with the people. But at the heart of it, the sport remains the same. And there's so much beauty in this sport to be enjoyed in terms of a team sport, a camaraderie aspect. So don't let the fear stop you from trying something that's really good.
Nice.
See her glow.
Tu lah. Because I feel macam I feel lost without.
There you go.
Rasa
Aku
lost
yang
sikit.
carbon fiber je.
Dah aku macam rasa lost sikit.
Okay. Okay. So now kita dah sembang. Is there any more about KL Barbarians that you want to talk about before I want to ask about how you guys compete with other teams and all?
Sure. No, you go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So you said there's other teams.
Yes.
So dekat Putrajaya tu, is it the home of KL Barbarians ke? You say ada banyak team. Is it banyak-banyak korang first come first serve cari the boat ke? Or macam mana?
Well, I think each of us have our own arrangement with the boat owners, and everyone just goes according to the schedule.
I
So,
see.
for example, KL Barbarians trains on Saturday mornings and Sunday evenings. You have other teams training on Saturday evenings and Sunday mornings. So everyone has their schedule and their turn.
What was the reason yang tak boleh weekday?
Putrajaya is too far away to go on a weekday.
Ah.
Kita tak sempat untuk balik pada KL untuk
okay.
kerja pukul 9.
Alright,
Yeah.
I understand. So, how often do you have like competitions or you guys are healthy,
You guys have a
competitive?
league ke, or?
Ada league ke macam mana? You said just now season kan? Berapa lama season tu sebenarnya?
Again, that varies from team to team.
Okay.
Our seasons are on a 6-month basis, January to June, July to December.
Okay.
And then we do recruitment maybe once or twice a year, and then we encourage our members to sign up for the next available race, because when you put in all the work at training, you want to see sort of what it's for.
Yeah.
And
The end product
Yeah, and
Okay.
the best way to see it materialize is in a race.
Okay.
Yeah, and usually a race is also a very good motivator to keep them to continue in the sport, because they actually see it all coming together. They get excited about it, and they'll be motivated to train even harder for the next race. We have local and international races.
Yes.
It very much depends on which organizer organizes which race, and we try our best to go for whichever one that comes up.
Do
that can
you
fit our
organize?
schedule.
KL Barbarians pernah
No.
organize anything? Belum?
No, we
Belum
are
lagi?
participating.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not an event organizer. We participate
Okay.
competitively. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. You mentioned about the I want to talk about weather-wise.
Sure.
Okay, so was there like the perfect weather to like do this, and what's the worst weather that you guys has experienced?
You pernah experience like
The best and the worst lah.
Best and the worst lah.
Wow.
Best, worst, ideal.
The most ideal is bright sun, blue skies.
Okay.
Although my teammates will probably disagree with me. They complain about the sun all the time, but
Okay.
bright sun, blue skies is probably the best. Calm waters. When we go out to open waters in the sea, you have to deal with waves and choppy waves, and that's always very challenging. We somehow love paddling in the rain. There are times when it rains, and I suppose our team seems to thrive in challenging conditions, and paddling through rain. We've had several instances of that. I think there was one year we were paddling in Penang, and we were made to go out, and there was a huge dark cloud behind us, and in the race itself it just started thundering and pouring over our heads, and at that point in time we didn't really care what number we were going to come in. We just wanted to get home safely.
Okay, faham.
So yeah, we've even paddled in those kind of weathers, and we've also had a very interesting experience. In 2018, we were invited to go to this town called Tuolun in Inner Mongolia, where we did ice Dragonboat.
Huh?
Yeah, we did
Alamak.
ice Dragonboat. Yeah.
Whoa.
And
Ice.
that weather was
So you paddle
definite-
in
on ice.
on ice?
At minus 26 degrees. Yeah.
Kejap ni. On ice, maknanya boat tu mana boleh gerak?
Okay,
So,
good question.
okay.
So they put the boat on sleds.
Oh.
And we are given a special
Rowing-
paddle,
paddle.
correct.
Paddle pula.
And the
Row
paddle,
pula.
instead of the blade at the end here, they
Ada
had a little
tajam-tajam.
spikes, correct.
Okay.
And we would have to sort of spear into the ice, get the spikes hooked,
wow.
and then pull us forward. Yeah.
Oh.
Really,
Is
really
this,
interesting.
Different sport or same sport? Dragon boat also, but dragon boat on ice.
It's called Ice Dragonboat. It's called Ice Dragonboat.
So it's a two different sports actually.
There are two international federations. So for
wow.
Dragonboat, you have the International Dragonboat Federation, and then on the ice side, you have the International Ice Dragonboat Federation.
Whoa.
Smart
I did not
though.
know this.
Yeah.
Style.
Wait, hold on. Before that, when I googled it, they were
Yeah.
like referencing House of Dragons, Game of Thrones.
So
Salah
ice-
topik pula.
So memang ice, memang there's a legit sport lah. So you guys KL Barbarians pernah pergi ke sana.
We were invited in 2018. Absolutely fantastic experience. I think very unforgettable for those of us who went.
Okay.
And because we are in Malaysia, we had zero opportunity to practice, and we just went there and winged it.
Takkan nak
Yeah.
pergi sampai piramid betul
Kan,
bawa
tak ada
boat.
boat juga. we didn't even know what to expect. We just went there and gave it our best as always.
Okay, the rules sama ke kalau the ice?
Sort of. It's also a sprint to the finish line. And I think we raced about 100 or 200 meters, but because it was so cold at -26, it was so hard to breathe, and you actually felt like you had just finished a 500 or 700 meter race, because that's the kind of toll that the weather takes on us. Yeah.
Okay, is it an Olympic sport?
No, Dragonboat itself is not an Olympic sport yet.
Oh. Oh, so no, I thought in the Winter Olympics ada dragon
No.
boat ice.
No.
Oh.
But Ice Dragonboat is quite popular in Canada because obviously
Yeah,
the
because I
weather.
just saw the
Yeah.
Ottawa
Oh.
IT.
Gila, cool. Okay, the next question is about now we're gonna ask about you transitioning as a Malaysian athlete, as a Dragon Boat Malaysian athlete. So is it orang-orang KL Barbados ke, atau dia who gets to pick?
Right.
So and then do share to the listeners and the watchers your experience of representing the country then.
I see. I wish very much my teammates were here to share their experience as well. It's not just me alone.
Okay.
But what happened was KL Barbarians was formed in 2011. 2018, the year that we went for Ice Dragonboat, we went in January, and then a couple of months after that, we got news that there was going to be a national selection.
Okay.
And the national selection was going to be conducted on a club basis. So whichever club won would get the honor of representing Malaysia.
Oh.
Yeah, because realistically, it's very hard to pull together the best paddlers from across the country. You have to find a centralized spot for training, etc. So they were trying out and they said, okay, we're going to get the best club to go. And I went to the team and I said, look guys, I've heard that there's a national selection. And
So it's a competition between all the clubs lah.
all the clubs lah, siapa-siapa yang nak join lah. And my teammates were asking me and saying like, you know, why do we want to go for national selection for? I say, no guys, like, let's just go. It's in a new race site. Let's go and experience and see how we fare against the top teams in the country. And lo and behold, our women's team won the national selection.
Oh, for women.
For our women's team.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So this is in 2018, and by winning that national selection, we earned the right to represent Malaysia at the 2018 Asian Games.
Nice.
And
Which was
basically
held in Palembang.
Palembang,
Okay.
Indonesia. And basically that made us the first national women's dragon boat team in Malaysia. So previously there were men competing in SEA Games, etc. But we were probably the first women's. Yeah.
And how was the experience, right? Macam competing with our neighbour countries.
Yeah, definitely tough because we had to settle everything on our own. We had to train on our own. We had to deal with our own resources.
Okay.
And again, we are not full-time athletes.
Yes.
So we are up against countries like China, Thailand, Indonesia.
Yelah, yang ada public holiday.
Public
sendiri.
holiday, full-time athletes. And Malaysia is in a region where some of the best dragon boat teams in the world are at. So when we go for Asian Games, we're literally going up
Against the top
almost the
people.
top in the world. But yeah, I think it was a good starting point. And what we've seen the associations do now is to continually try to form a national team. And that's great because now grassroots and clubs have something to target and work towards.
aim
because
for.
correct, this is the benchmark, national team, everyone can work towards this pinnacle so to speak. So 2018 Asian Games, we went up against our neighbours, including
Which
Singapore.
neighbour? Atas ke bawah?
Semua lah.
Okay.
Thailand, Singapore,
Thailand.
Indonesia, the whole Hong Kong was there, China was there. It was a great experience for us. And the following year, we went for national selections again.
Okay.
And our women's team managed to retain our title. And then we went on to merge with a men's team to join the 2019 SEA Games the following year. That was in Philippines.
And then, okay, kalau all this like the big games lah,
Yeah.
Asian Games, SEA
Yeah.
Games ni kan, you guys lawan dekat open water ke, dekat laut ke atau tasik?
Yeah, that's good question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between both the open water and lake?
So different race sites have different water conditions,
Okay.
and each comes with its own challenges. So the best is usually like a calm lake like Putrajaya, but calm like Putrajaya comes with wind.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you deal with windy conditions. Open waters is very challenging because you have to deal with
The wave lah.
the wave. You also got wind, and the waves you have no control over. So that's very challenging. We also race in rivers where you have to deal with current as well, upstream, downstream,
Okay,
and
okay.
things like that. So that's part of the strategy as well when you go for different races, different race sites. And our team strives to keep going to new race sites because each race site will bring a different experience that we can take home and learn something.
Okay, so your team ni pernah pergi all over the country lah to...
More or less,
Sebab
I
you
think
kata
we've
sungai
raced,
dah.
yeah, sungai, tasik,
sea.
yeah. We've also raced internationally quite a fair bit. We target at least one international race a year.
Oh, wow.
Okay, do you mind sharing the latest international experience of your team?
Sure. We just came back from Guangzhou, from China.
Oh, okay.
I'll say date. We went in middle of June
Okay.
to China. And in that race, it was very memorable because this year is the year of the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
we're going back to China, where the sport originated from.
Okay.
So it's very memorable and very significant in a lot of ways.
Is it invitation or...
It was by invitation.
I see, okay.
Yeah, by invitation.
Can continue sharing?
So we've raced China. We've raced in Korea. Last year we went to Busan.
Oh, okay.
The year before that we went to Bangkok where we raced in the Chao Phraya River.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's previous years, Korea as well.
So when you say we, adakah ada women's team ke atau
The collective.
mix?
It depends. So we have raced women's team, we have brought mixed team, and then if there's a men category, we'll try to join that as well. Again, depends on which crew can join that race,
Yes.
and then we'll form the best crew to go.
Okay. The fees tu, I'm sure you have to pay for the maintenance of the boat and all kan.
Yeah.
Is it a really expensive sport actually?
Well, to start off,
Kalau not competitive lah.
Yeah.
Ah,
To start off, we are a self-sustaining team.
okay.
So means we are sustained purely through membership fees.
Okay.
And so our members pay the membership fee, which goes predominantly towards the rental of the boat and whatever maintenance that's required. When we go for races, it's also fully self-funded,
Okay.
whereby members need to pay for their own logistics, flights, accommodation, meals, but the team will cover in terms of race registration fees. Yeah. So different teams have different setup. I'm just sharing the KL Barbarians setup basically. Yeah.
But it was different when you guys jadi Malaysian athletes ke?
So with Team Malaysia for the 2018 Asian Games, Dragonboat is what we call a Category B sport,
Okay.
whereby you either get support from your association, but in our instance, the association had very little to no financial support.
Okay.
And basically in 2018, we represented Malaysia out of our own pockets.
Okay.
So we paid for our own flight, we paid for our own accommodation, to stay in the athletes' village. We basically paid to represent Malaysia and put in all the work as well. But
Ooh.
we felt that it was
Worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
It's what little we can do to contribute back to our country and to this sport. 2019, we were a bit more fortunate. We had sponsors that came in to support us in various aspects. But generally, we are self-funding, self-sustaining. Team Malaysia we may, if we're lucky, get some financial support from the association or the federation, but that really, I think, varies on a case-to-case basis.
Ni I think dia macam ke belakang sikit soalan ni yang you guys training dekat Putrajaya.
Yes.
Rowing pun ada training ke?
Ada.
So you guys share lah.
Share. We share the space. No.
Oh.
Yeah. Rowing, canoe, kayak, canoe polo semua ada kat sana.
Canoe polo?
SUP, kayak.
Wow. Banyaknya different water sports that I don't know.
Yeah, this show is gonna last until the end of time lah.
Even dia kata ada ice Dragonboat tu.
Dragonboat tu lagi.
That's so cool. That is so cool. I did not know. Alright. So you said you guys had to like fund sendiri and all in order to. So that's the challenge lah.
The other challenge is
Yeah.
the availability of resources. It's not easy to have a place where the boats are available and a place where you have access to the water. Yeah. Kalau kat kayak, kat Titi Wangsa, you boleh satu orang angkat kayak tu, turun air, you boleh dah kayu dah. With Dragonboat, you need to have all the facilities available. And that's always been a very big challenge for our sport. I think it continues to exist today. But of course, with the sport growing, more education, more awareness, hopefully this will improve in time to come.
Okay. Yeah, you said it will improve. So what do you see the future of not just KL Barbados?
Yep.
And
Barbarians.
Barbados pula. Barbarians.
Dah fikir cuti lah ni.
KL Barbarians and also the future of Dragonboat in Malaysia or as a sport.
So with KL Barbarians, I think my hopes and dreams for the team, I've been the captain of the team for a fairly long time, and I've reached a stage where I'm trying to build a legacy. And I think my hopes and dreams is that the culture, the vision, the values of the team will continue to remain regardless of who the people are, because the people will change, but I'm hoping that the values and culture will maintain for a long time to come. In terms of the sport in Malaysia, it's definitely grown. Even in the last 13 years that we've been around, the sport has grown tremendously. So we've seen more people getting involved in the sport. You see more clubs growing. You see more races taking place. And so we've seen that growth, and we're hoping it will keep going in that direction. So Malaysian Dragonboat Federation is also the governing body for the sport of Dragonboat in Malaysia. And they are doing their part. I sit on MDBF as a committee member as well. And MDBF is doing its part to grow the dragon boating scene in terms of events, conducting courses for coaches, as well as proper certification for dragon boat officials as well. Because there's a whole syllabus for that under the International Dragon Boat Federation. And as the mother body, MDBF is doing its part to bring that to Malaysia. And then on the other side, we have MASCA, which is the Malaysia Canoe Association. And for multi-sports events like Asian Games and SEA Games, that falls under MASCA. Yeah, so MASCA has its own body, its own committee. They are doing their part to grow the water sports side, be it dragon boat or traditional boat, together with canoe, kayak, etc. So we've got these two very strong mother bodies, each doing their part to grow these water sports in Malaysia. And I think if the right people continue to lead, I think the future is bright.
InsyaAllah, God willing.
Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything more you want to add? And about Barbarians, KL Barbarians. Yeah. Any about Dragonboat you want to add that kita orang terlupa? Yeah.
Before that, I think the target for the community is that you guys should do an event in Barbados.
Hopefully someday.
Okay.
The furthest we've ever raced, I think, is Australia. Yeah, we went there for the Club Crew World Championships back in 2016. And hopefully someday we can go to Europe, US, Canada. That would be the dream.
Okay. They bukan like just because keep on saying 20 like before COVID punya times because but actually recently they baru pergi China also.
Yes, so you're right. A lot of things came to a standstill in 2020.
Yes.
We sort of picked up momentum back in 2022 where races started slowly coming back. But last year, 2023, was the year where we actually saw, races coming back in full force.
Okay.
And we could have full training back again, etc. And I guess for us, what's next is we have some local races coming up. We're going to Kuching and Penang in October and November. And just to share, the women's team again recently won the national selection.
Oh,
And
okay,
we'll be
cool.
representing Team Malaysia at the Asian Dragonboat Championships in October as well.
Nice, all the
Which
Yeah, thank you.
is held at?
That's going to be in Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
Hong Kong Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, dia macam ni lah. I don't think, maybe I would try, but I would like to see actually. So, how do we actually go to Putrajaya and can see, is it?
Yeah, you come on Saturday mornings. There's lots of activities happening. Not just Dragonboat. You see all the other water sports out on the water as well.
Okay.
So if we have a Putrajaya race, that's worth coming to see because if you go to Marina Putrajaya, Precinct 6, there's this big grandstand and it's worthy of anything within this region. We've had neighbours come in from other countries and say it's a beautiful race site. You
Okay.
can sit in the grandstand and
How
watch
often
races.
do Putrajaya Marine?
We used to have races there every year. Yeah.
Oh.
So we're waiting for them to come back. Post
So this year not yet lah.
No,
as in
no news just
2024.
yet, yeah.
Post-COVID. Okay, has been
Yeah,
written
post-COVID,
since
yes,
okay.
correct.
Okay. So after COVID, the race dekat Putrajaya tak ada lagi.
I think there was one last year or the year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So is there anything else you wanna add?
No, anything else you would like to know about Perahu Naga?
Kita boleh sambung naik kat Putrajaya.
Oh, boleh.
One
I
day,
look forward to seeing you there.
Okay, so now we would like to bagi shout out to whoever your team members ke siapa-siapa that your lawyer friend who you are today, and also macam mana kalau macam beginners atau whoever yang yang macam rasa interested to take up this sport atau even nak watch you guys where to find or socials and all. To that
Okay.
camera.
Look for KL Barbarians. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube page as well. We're also on X. We post regularly updates about our training, races that we go for. And when we open for recruitment, we'll be sure to post it on our social media as well. So if you're interested to try the sport, look out for that. Or you can always drop us a message on Facebook, Instagram. We'll be sure to get back to you. That happens maybe once or twice a year, or we'll let you know when it happens. Even if you don't try the sport with us, there are many other Dragonboat teams out there, whichever state that you are from. Go out there, give it a go. Happy to hear if you enjoy it and share the same joy that I hope you hear from my voice when I speak about the sport. Big shout out to all the KL Barbarians, past, present and future, if you do join us as well. I'd like to believe that the KL Barbarians has played a very integral part in each and every one of your lives. Once a barbarian, always a barbarian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, is the other than KL Barbarians, so to know any events, so through KL Barbarians lah.
I suggest for events, probably you refer to MDBF, the Malaysian Dragonboat Federation, or the Malaysia Canoe Association, MASCA.
All on
Either
social
one, yeah.
socials adalah.
Yes.
Any part of social, or is it Facebook?
I think they are mostly on Facebook, kalau tak silap I.
Okay.
But some of the race organisers are private organisers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There is a group on Facebook called the Malaysian Dragonboat Community. We started that probably 8 years ago, for everyone in the community to share news, announcements, updates. And if that's something you want to stay updated, join the group Malaysian Dragonboat Community on Facebook.
Alright, that's really cool.
Style.
Then promote your own social.
No, I don't, no, I'm all good.
Okay, so just follow the KL
KL Barbarians, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Dia banyak sangat nak kena layan. Alright, Carl, is there anything?
No,
you want to add?
dia kena like as captain.
Coach juga.
And coach that include the 20 plus 2.
Is there anything you want to add, some more, Carl? No?
I'm good.
Alright, so we reached to the end of the show, but before we end the show, kita nak tanya a few quick rapid fire questions to you. And so it's just a simple one, what you rasa nak jawab, and you fikir terus jawab, okay?
Sure.
If there's no answer, it's fair.
Alright.
Let's go.
What athlete and coach is your favourite in Dragonboat?
In Dragonboat?
Who?
Wow, in Dragonboat.
We tanya in, and then we tanya outside all time. Yeah.
Okay lah, outside lah. In maybe a bit
Tak ada like legends ke apa ke?
No, I prefer let's outside Dragonboat.
Okay,
Yeah,
outside. Okay,
outside.
all-time favorite coach, favorite athlete.
All-time favorite athlete Rafael Nadal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And favorite coach?
Nope, none that comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe every coach can bring something different to the table.
Fair.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a two-pronged question.
Yep.
Number one is what kind of sports that you still where would you be if it wasn't Dragonboat?
Yep.
And the second one is because we're Better Call Sukan, we want to invite as many sports as possible to share their story.
Yep.
So who do you want us to call?
Okay, let's answer the second one first.
Yes.
That's quite easy. Squash.
Squash.
Yeah, squash. Obviously, I've a love for squash. I played it a lot during my high school days, but squash has also had a very long journey towards becoming an Olympic sport, and that's finally been achieved. And we're going to see squash in the LA 2028, and I
Yes.
hope to see that on your show soon.
Yes, squash
Yeah.
kita belum lagi actually.
Yeah.
Kita dah banyak sports, Dragonboat semua, squash pun tak ada lagi. Yes, alright. And yeah, the
The first question is, what sport would I be in? Is it?
If it wasn't Dragonboat.
Okay, kalau tak squash also lah.
Okay. I don't know if this counts, but I would probably be in the sport of CrossFit. Yeah.
Like workout all that lah, is it?
Yes, so CrossFit is a strength and conditioning program
Yes.
that encompasses functional fitness, functional movements, gymnastics, and Olympic weightlifting. And it's absolutely brilliant in building all the general physical abilities that can be applied to any sport as well. So personally, I do CrossFit outside Mondays to Fridays, and I've done CrossFit in order to build strength and fitness to be able to perform better on the boat. Yeah, so I guess if I wasn't on the boat, I would probably explore a lot more in CrossFit.
Okay, next question is there any other sports that you macam like interested in tapi you tak tahu, tak belajar lagi? Yeah, macam
Oh wow, tons. I love sports.
Yeah.
Happy to try any sport. Like even when I was studying in Australia, I played rugby for a while.
Okay.
Just to try any sport. Recently I went with my teammates. We tried curling on
okay.
ice. We tried curling on ice. I would love to try lacrosse actually, now that you mention it.
Okay.
I'd love to try lacrosse.
We'll get you in touch with Jake.
Yeah,
Because
lacrosse
Jake
has
was
came
here
before.
last year.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We have
We had
a
Okay.
You just posted it on your socials yesterday.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yes,
about
lacrosse. It's something that's always intrigued me.
Okay. They do play NTTDI.
Yes.
Yes, every Sunday morning. Clash lah dengan dia.
Sunday
Sunday
evening.
evening.
Oh,
Oi.
okay. Okay, betul.
Good memory.
Alright. What's your favourite fictional sporting character atau favourite sport movie? Tak kisah any type of movie. Dragonboat ada ke? Pernah ada movie ke pasal Dragonboat?
There is a Hong Kong movie. Yeah, but favorite fictional sporting character. Ichizen Ryoma from Prince of Tennis.
Okay.
It's an anime based. Also the captains in Haikyuu.
Okay.
And
Favourite sporting movie is 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝘼𝑆, is it?
no.
Series.
Favorite sporting movie. I don't have any one in particular, but in all these animes, the captains of the team usually stand out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright. The final question is the quotes.
Yeah, the quote.
Yeah.
Is there any like kata-kata or like some like quotes that you like keep yourself
Right.
motivated?
I have a personal hashtag.
Yes.
It's called #AllForTheLoveOfSports.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a solid one.
Solid.
#all for the love of
All for
sport.
the love of sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Final one to promote again kepada orang yang mungkin they skip until the end, so you can promote KL Barbarians again.
Follow us, KL Barbarians. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Stay updated about more updates about dragon boating. You can also look for Malaysian Dragon Boat Community on Facebook. It's a group. In terms of the legal authorities or the governing body, there's Malaysian Dragon Boat Federation as well as the Malaysia Canoe Association.
Awesome lah. Is there anything more you want to add towards Dragonboat before I wrap this up?
No, thank you for having me here today. It's always an honor to speak on behalf of the KL Barbarians, and we appreciate every opportunity to be able to share about our sport.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, your teammate pun. Thank you so much. Dia kat belakang tu rakam kita.
Thank you.
Yes. Also, thank you to you listeners and kepada yang tengah tengok us on YouTube. Thank you so much for staying till the end. We really like all your feedbacks, your questions. So and also if you guys got any other sports or any topics yang related to sukan, just let us know in our socials and we will definitely call them. Alright, thank you on behalf of Better Call Sukan. We hope better and brighter future for the Dragonboat sports itself and
you
for
very
your
much.
team also.
I really hope that it bumps from a category B to a category A sport.
Someday, I hope.
I feel it. I feel it.
Dia boleh like
Upgrade.
Boleh upgrade. Dia ada category A dengan B je ke atau ada C juga? Actually.
Mostly category A and category B. So category B also means that if you bring back a medal, you may get reimbursed.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were very close to that in 2019. We were 0.08 milliseconds from a bronze medal. And that was tough in the sense that we wanted it not for ourselves, but we knew how much that medal would mean to the sport.
Yeah.
It would elevate the sport to the next level, and to be that close to the bronze medal from bringing it home.
Who got third place then?
Philippines. Yeah, Philippines.
Tuan rumah.
Yeah, tuan rumah. But it's meant to be. And I think the challenge probably lies with the next generation.
Yes.
God willing.
Alright. So thank you again everyone for listening, for watching. Thank you to our guests for coming and
Thank you very
sharing
much for having me.
about Dragonboat. Thank you Carl for being a very good host.
Thank you, Arif, for leading us.
Asyik pegang the pedal tu. So I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap the show.
Yes.
Thank you everybody. My name is �12𝙊𝙇𝙊𝙒
My name is Carl.
And I'm Lesley.
and we will see you soon. Bye bye.
Audio Plus.